Continuing here. I got a philosophy on age I wanted to share. It comes from the Bible. It comes from Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. So basically, it's written that God will not contend with man forever. It made us, this mortality thing came into play around this whole time when we ate from this tree of knowledge of forbidden fruit, of knowledge of good and evil, this forbidden fruit. And then we have to face a subsequent curse, which involved death, came into the picture. So, but God did promise us this 120 years, of course, barring unnatural death. So that's what you should be shooting for. So when it comes to watching how you eat, you got to understand it's very important to have a good diet and treat your body like a machine. To understand rudimentary, it doesn't mean you got to get all hung up and make it a religion and have your life revolve around it. I mean, everybody eats a little junk food now and then, right? But it's just understanding that you're supposed to live 120 years. God made it that long. And so it seems logical and reasonable to say, hey, you are young between 0 and 40. You call yourself young. And then from 40 to 80, you would be middle-aged. And then from 80 to 120, you get to call yourself old. Like fine wine, It's subtle. Subtly better in certain ways. So, that's it. The older you get, if you're on the right track, you're getting wiser and you kind of get more valuable to society, to civilization, to humanity, and to God too, by extension. So longevity, I'm a big proponent of longevity. So it's like smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke so that I can get sick. I don't want to get sick. So I try to be cognizant of the fact that these things have this deleterious effect on my body and mitigate it through other methods. Because, like I said, I'm trying to live to be 120 years old and I want to be healthy so that I can enjoy it. Like they say, health is wealth. One form of wealth is your health, right? Because if your body is in pain, it's a downer, man. It's going to bring down your spirit, your mood, your attitude, everything. So, diet is very important. But something that when you're young, you really don't understand that it goes so fast. And before you know it, you're middle-aged. And, it's something to really think about. Until you get there, it's very difficult to convey the difference in your psychology, your mindset. Once you've lived a period of time, your thinking patterns are completely different from what they were when you were young. And you feel like, hey, this thing's going to go on forever. I mean, 100 years or even 80 years sounds like an eternity when you're in your 20s, right? But then you start, wow, I'm in my 30s, I'm getting middle-aged, and you start thinking about it more, so. But really, like I say, you're not middle-aged till you hit 40. 40 to 80 is middle-aged. 80 to 120, you get to call yourself old, like a fine wine. So anyhow, that's my philosophy on age. In talking about foods and healthy food and eating healthy and medicinal foods, we don't think of medicinal foods generally as high-quality proteinous foods like eggs, fish, cheese, peanut butter, which is legumes. And, of course, there's grains and seeds, nuts, all that kind of stuff. And even cheese, at least the hard cheeses, right? But and for those who imbibe in it, red meat and white meat, because pork, of course, is white meat and birds are white meat, right? So I'll eat a bird once in a while, maybe just Thanksgiving, something like that, a little bit of turkey. But generally, I don't want to be a hypocrite, and I don't want to work in a slaughterhouse. And so that's my only objection morally. But other than that, I mean, you don't want too much meat on meat contact in your guts. And, look into people getting this, what they call the gut cancer, the colorectal cancer is bad news. I had an aunt, a beloved aunt, that died of that. But you got to watch your meat on meat contact, because I say meat on meat because your guts are real tender kind of meat, right? We're kind of meat. Like on Futurama, we're typically referred to, at least Bender the robot refers to us as meat bags, which is kind of apropos. We are kind of meat bags. But for cellular reproduction, the most basic ingredient we need is these ingredients we need are these 8 essential amino acids that protein gives us. Because from that, our bodies can synthesize just about anything else we need. And, getting sufficient minerals, if you have, somewhat of a decent, well-rounded diet, then you're going to get all your minerals there too. And mainly, you got to remember to drink plenty of fresh, clean water. And, I say fresh, clean, filtered, because you can't trust the stuff coming out of your tap, really. Fluoride and additives, whatever else, toxic crap is in there. You never know what you're getting. So definitely drink water, okay, that is pure and filtered typically. But, this idea that fats and cholesterol are bad, nothing could be further from the truth. If you listen to Dr. Joel Wallach, he's online. You can find his videos and information. Listen to him. Okay, you need it. Your brain is comprised of mostly cholesterol, type of cholesterol. So, yeah, plenty of healthy fats. You're not going to get overweight. You need the olive oil. You need the fish. You need it from nuts, and you need it from avocados. Wherever you can get good, healthy fat. And even the cheeses. I mean, butter is healthy fat. The margarine, not so. But look into it for yourself. But, I believe certain people, and that's the way I was taught. And I've read a lot of books. I've been to college on this, health science, and a lot of my own independent research I've done on it. So, yeah. We have Kevin Hart in the news. He got in this accident in his 1970, what the hell kind of car was it? I can't even remember. It doesn't even matter. But it's kind of strange, and they haven't talked about how this exactly happened. It's all kind of, it feels like a cover-up. TMZ is trying to get to the bottom of it, but I don't think they have really. But, inquiring minds want to know. But I stand by this idea that 99.9% of car accidents are avoidable if people are being careful and defensive. I don't want to live with having hurt somebody. I've got 46 years of driving experience, and I have never hurt anybody. And I'm very happy to be able to say that. And I'd like to drive at least another, 59 years maybe, and not hurt anybody. On Trump, I certainly hope that Donald Trump, because I've been trying to support him as best I can, because I believe in prosperity being the best path to peace and contentment in the land, to freedom and security. But we're screwing it up all over the world, and we still are. We're going further in debt. He's really not, it doesn't look like he's intending to do anything momentous, like canning the Federal Reserve and beginning a new dollar like JFK was doing. He's probably too much of a coward. But I just hope he doesn't turn out to be another feckless pustule like so many of the presidents have. Traitors. As far as I'm concerned, they're traitors to America because they're traitors to the American people at large. You understand here in California why I poke fun at the homeowners now? And I say you're a shriveling minority. And I wonder how it feels to be a shriveling minority, right? That's what they are, a shrinking minority is what they are. Do you understand? This is America in the 21st century. And Trump is a part of that. He's been the president now for almost 3 years. Okay, and it doesn't look like he's going to be any different from the other feckless pustules. I was hoping that the reason the establishmentarians hated him is because Trump was really a godly guy, and he was going to, try to follow biblical principles about prosperity for everybody and be another JFK and, really do something momentous. At least get the Federal Reserve back on a leash. Get a payoff figure. Do some wheeling and dealing with them. Let's make a deal, Federal Reserve. Get this country out of debt yesterday. Okay, this is a bunch of bull. We can't be in debt. How the hell are we creating more multi-billionaires every day and more poverty to go with it? How does this work? What the hell's going on? Where's the end? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? Where does this thing end? How is this debt being paid? What are the implications, the ramifications? What's the pernicious side of this debt? You ever hear the mainstream media talking about this crap? Trump, please don't turn out to be another feckless pustule on the backs of the American people. Please, I beg you. We're the lead. We're supposed to be the leader of the free world. Let's act like it. I told people what they can do about tyranny on a grassroots level. All you can do is call your mortgage holder or your landlord, whoever you're paying your housing costs to, and ask for a reduction. You need lower rates. You need lower rent. And even if it's a white lie, do it for somebody else. It's a paying it forward by extension. You see, it's a branch of paying it forward. Do it for somebody else, whereby it's going to be the straw that broke the camel back. The next time they get their rent raised, they're going to be living under the bridge, couch surfing. Okay, if your landlord retorts and say, "Oh, but I need it to pay my mortgage and bills. You don't know, and my insurance and everything." Hey, listen, say, well, maybe you got to pick another business to be in. Be nice about it. Or if he comes up with, hey, this is, you're renting, it's below market value. Say, well, market value, as we all know by now, has been manipulated up one side, down the other. There's no price discovery. There's no free market. Point to the bailout of '08. The criminals bailed out against the will of 90% of the American people. So if wants to get into it with them. And better yet, read Adam Smith's book, The Wealth of Nations. Be empowered yourself to hold your own. But do it for somebody. You say, well, that doesn't sound like fun. Hey, overthrowing tyranny doesn't. But this is what it takes. I don't know what else to tell you on a grassroots basis that you could do. But this will have a ripple effect and a chain reaction, and we can start getting lower costs for services, and other commodities will follow suit. But we've got to start the ball rolling somewhere, okay? And it's there because it's an essential human need, your housing costs. So I can't give better advice to everybody in your local community. This is what you got to do. We're in a lot of trouble, and that's all I don't know what else. I mean, prayer, of course, and God's will is going to be done, but we got to speak truth to power. I'm telling you where Satan's throne is. The vast majority of the congressmen people and the senators, they're sitting on Satan's throne. They're lapdogs to the Federal Reserve, the top money lovers, the money masters of misery that are causing all these unnecessary problems, this unnecessary human suffering that we experience. Do you understand how great it would be to have universal prosperity? I mean, could you imagine commuter traffic on the LA freeway, the Bay Area freeway, drying up, plummeting overnight? Could you imagine abortions? People that hate the idea of women getting abortions, unwanted children. Could you imagine if all these women felt prosperous and secure, free? You think they dry up overnight virtually? You understand why I'm for a UBI, universal basic income, any way to thwart these people? And it's a very godly thing from Scripture. I mean, just look at an extension from Social Security, okay? But our problems are fixable. I mean, we're talking about the national debt being gone. We're talking about no more dubious war. We're talking about an end to the social welfare industry. We're talking about crime plummeting overnight, a kinder, safer, gentler society. This is why so many of these brilliant multi-billionaires, they say, hey, you know what? I mean, let's do it. I mean, how are they going to benefit from a UBI, a universal basic income, an extension of Social Security that went down to everybody, 18 on, whatever, just so nobody had to live in unnecessary fear, a lack of freedom, a lack of security because of financial manipulation, okay? The system will work fine. Prove me wrong. You can't find a period in history, any appreciable time where people were allowed to be free and work together to have all the things they want, all the niceties. So we don't have to live like some tribe in the Amazon. Okay, we don't have to do that. We can have it any way we want. Just understand that it's God's will that we're born universally prosperous.